Hey, what's up, guys? Got another new video here for you. This is Tuned In Sports coming at you with week 13, I believe it is. Week 13 action. Just wrapped it up, and we're here to give our thoughts and, more importantly, let out some frustration for yet another week. So, we got a lot to talk about, so, we'll just pretty much hop into it. I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Don.
And like I said, we're just going to hop right into it here. And, well, I guess we can go ahead and start by saying that there is no longer a winless team in the NFL. And that is because the Lions, despite themselves, managed to pick up their first victory here this morning/afternoon, depending on your time zone. And, it was pretty amazing to see. It felt like just another one of those games that was going to be a heartbreaking loss for them. It had all the usual ingredients of
shit.
Yeah, exactly. It had their usual ingredients of having the game well under control, blowing it at the end, having a chance, and still coming up short with some terrible decisions. But somehow, some way, they managed to end up getting it done. But, with all that being said, I feel like there was a lot of good effort out there by the Lions today. Defense played pretty well. Offense wasn't horrible. And, we've talked about before on this channel, if you can score 24 or around that area, that should be enough to win a game. And for the most part, the Lions, they did enough to win this game. But like I said, there's definitely some issues in Detroit, even though it's great that they got this win. And there was a few bright spots, but don't let the bright spots take away from some of the negatives because, unfortunately, coaching is definitely an issue on this team. Lots of boneheaded decisions by Campbell today. And like I said, I mean, he was they won in spite of themselves in a lot of ways because they just, they were trying every which way to blow this. But they managed to make the play when it counted. But, like I said, it's kind of a difficult situation because, in some respects, that he doesn't have much to work with talent-wise, but at the same time, you got to do better than this. But at the same time, he doesn't have any head coaching experience. So I guess since they suck anyways, it's good to get the growing pains out of the way now. So hopefully he improves on some of the things that he's been doing specifically the last 3 weeks. And lastly, yeah, actually, that's it. I don't remember what else I was going to say. So, yeah, good win for the Lions. Congrats on getting their first win. And, that's what it was. I don't know what it is about the Lions and not having the correct play when they come to the line. But I think I've watched more delay of game penalties with the Lions in crucial minutes than I ever have in the history of football. I mean, seriously, in the last handful of weeks, there's a common trend, them getting crucial penalties at crucial points in the game. And today they had at least 2 or 3 crucial plays that were, where they had to either call a timeout or get bailed by the other team calling a timeout because they were not ready coming to the line. And that's just, I mean, I don't know what the hell to blame that on. I don't know if Goff isn't getting these people lined up correctly, or the coach is taking too long to send in the play, or what. But like I said, I don't think I've ever seen in crucial moments so many times a team literally about to have a delay of game or just straight up having a delay of game. It's ridiculous. And it's not just this week. It was the same thing on Thanksgiving. As a matter of fact, they had 2 straight delay of games, and then that was why they had the double timeout penalty, was because nobody was lined up correctly. So, again, I'd say that's also on coaching. So, hopefully he can iron out some of these issues. But nonetheless, congrats on getting your first win against the Vikings today.
Yeah, I mean, for your first win of the season to be a division win, I wouldn't have any complaints with that for sure. Good win for the Lions today. Pretty solid performance defensively. I mean, just the Vikings couldn't get anything going most of the day, it seemed like. And I mean, it was just like, I was pretty happy with it. I mean, because I don't really care for the Vikings myself, so I was like, good to see the Lions get their first win. I was happy for Dad, and Vikings, geesh, what a terrible loss, because they're freaking digging themselves a hole. I mean, I thought this was a must-win for them, and because I'm pretty sure that this just dropped them 2 games below 500, right?
Yep.
So, it's not gonna help them any, for sure, and it's gonna be one that's gonna come to bite them in the ass as the season, continues, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a great game today. I mean, I haven't seen, that much crappy coaching since I watched my team. Unbelievable to, go for it on your own 29-yard line at the end of the game when you're up by 2. I thought that was a fucking great call. Unbelievable. And then you got Vic Fangio of the NFC on the other side, another numbskull. He called 2 timeouts at the end of the game to make sure Detroit got the right plays in to win it. So I thought that was a great job by them. Unbelievable turn of events. I mean, this should have been a Minnesota cakewalk. But I know Thielen goes out. That doesn't help. And some other things. But, hey, kudos to Detroit. Got it done. Got the W. Got one in the left-hand column. And then on to take the W in Denver tomorrow next week.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice win for the fans. It was nice to finally see them get a W there. Those that have been supporting this shit team for the whole season. They're still clueless with the offensive play calling. Clock management's horrible. Jared Goff is not the answer. He's going to be limited in his time there, I hope. So, but I mean, it was a great win. I was as happy as anybody to see him finally get through and win one. The defense has actually played pretty well throughout all this shit. The defense has been the bright spot, really. They held them all day long. They were holding them.
Especially
they
in
were
that
holding
first
them to
half.
3. Yeah, they were holding them to 3 points instead of 7.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just doing the right. I mean, they were playing hard. And I mean, I will say that's the one nice thing that I have seen is this team, throughout the season has not given up, not once. And they've gotten blown out, I think, one time where they really just got their ass kicked. But for the most part, they've been in these games and they've played tough. So, in my opinion, they've got some issues for sure. But now if we can get that first pick in the draft, and we'll probably blow that scenario as well and pick the wrong guy, like we normally would.
Or rattle off 4 wins.
Yeah, rattle off some wins and let Jacksonville eat at you.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say though was shout out to that Amon-Ra St. Brown guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just unstoppable today. He had 10 catches, 100-something yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, that's the rookie from USC.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope that. I mean, I know this probably isn't going to happen, but hopefully he can, stick around because I think he could be a good piece going forward for sure.
Yeah, there's your first problem.
Congratulations to Kirk Cousins, too, coming back home and shitting the bed like he used to do all the time. So that was good to see, and something hasn't changed.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, good thing for the Lions to kind of get the monkey off the back now. honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see them actually, maybe upset a team or something.
I was going to say, yeah, I think we could win a couple of games coming down the stretch.
Starting next week.
Yeah. Go Denver on that one. But yeah, no, I mean, now that they kind of finally don't have that pressure on them, I think they'll be a much more loose football team. Still the Lions, though, so don't hold your breath. But yeah, it was a good first step, and I think through all this, you're definitely, like you said, kind of seeing some of the pieces that you can probably move on from, and some of the pieces that you'd like to keep around. And who's stepped up in the midst of this stuff, and who's kind of stepped out of the way. So yeah. But
yeah, I believe it. I mean, myself, like I said, I want to see Goff probably move on. I'd like to see him out of there. But I don't know that there's a person in the draft that's worthy of a first pick in the draft at the quarterback position this year. So
Daniel Jones. Got to bring him in. Trubisky.
Yeah.
I got Bridgewater.
Sam Darnold might be available.
No, we already got guys that can't complete passes. We don't need any more of that.
Come on. That's the MO.
It's the dream.
Yeah. Continue this.
No.
We need content every week. That's what helps Tuned In Sports.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why the Lions were created. It wasn't to win games. It was to have good content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one, and let's hop into another quick bright spot. Let's hop into this Eagles performance today.
Yeah, good job by the Eagles. Nice to see Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite come in, my boy. I've been always pulling for Hunter Minshew since day one, since he was drafted by Jacksonville. I was always on the front office thing, like, let's trade for him, and hopefully we could have broken the freaking carousel that we have right now of turd quarterbacks, but that's probably gone by the wayside. Close that window. But good job by the Eagles. Great job by the Jets field goal kicker. Couldn't make an extra point to save his life. So you're already down multiple points because you can't kick it between the two posts.
Yeah.
But like you said, for not having that much time with the team and sitting behind Hurts, and then kind of a different type of player than Hurts. But you can see that he's a much better passer, and guys are actually catching balls today where he was throwing them. But again, maybe he throws them a little bit better where you can catch them. Where somewhere they're expecting it. That's why,
yeah,
it all
exactly.
plays out. That's with it. But compared to the turd they laid in the Meadowlands the week before, I'm sure they wish they would have had it the opposite way. Won last week's game and lose this week's game. If they had a choice between the two, because you would rather win the division game and the one in the AFC doesn't really matter that much per se. Yeah. If you're going to lose one. But kudos to the Eagles to, again, unlike my team, they have people that step up and actually play and play at a high level. And good job of seeding the backups. Letting those roots grow and letting them learn how to fertilize the rest of the program throughout. Yeah. Watching those leaves blossom, getting sunshine on them. Great.
Yeah, I mean, good win by the Eagles. Right when the game started, the Jets had that really long kick return that put them automatically in the red zone. I was like, oh shoot, this is gonna be a long day. Right off the bat, I was already under the impression.
Except for all you that had the over.
Yeah.
It wasn't solid.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't feeling too good after that. But as the game went on, you could totally see that the Eagles were the better team. I mean, I just think that the Jets kind of got worn down. I mean, because they were in it for most of the first half and even part of the second half. But again, I mean,
he didn't miss a pass, almost like except for one, I think it was.
And
then the Jets couldn't even keep up with
No.
Yeah,
it's just.
I mean, Minshew, I mean, I think Minshew's pretty nice too. I mean, I think he's a nice quarterback. Definitely a good backup to have nonetheless. And, you know, he proved why today. I mean, I think his main problem is that in Jacksonville he had no talent. So when you put him in a position where he can actually succeed, this is what happens. So good for him.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I don't think he's going to be there past this little stint, though. I think someone's going to offer him some money to come play. I don't see him staying as a backup there. I don't think that's what he wants to do. I mean, he could, but we'll see. Who knows? He might be the starter by the end of it, and Hurts might be on the bench, just depending on what how things go. But, at the moment, I mean, what you saw today from that kid, I mean, it's hard to say, he should be on the bench. But with that being said, Hurts hasn't played bad either. It's a little different style, give you that. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's, not good or that they can't win with it because they've proven they can. So, very good showing today by the Eagles. I think probably time of possession was probably on the Eagles' side by quite a bit. Seemed like every time we were watching the red zone, it was the Eagles had the ball. So I'm thinking that the time of possession had to have been
11 minutes.
Yeah, pretty heavy in the Eagles' favor. So good showing by them today for sure.
Yeah, well, first of all, to start this off, in the words of Hulk Hogan, MinshewMania's running wild. Hey, you know what? I just got to be honest. It was exciting to watch today. I was really, really excited as a fan of the Eagles to be like, holy crap, we got offense here today. And as I said before, I don't know what's all going to happen with this whole situation that we got going on at the quarterback position. But what I can say is that it was super, super exciting to watch an offense. We literally did not have – I don't think we had a possession the whole game where we didn't score. Maybe we did in the fourth quarter. But apart from that, I know in the first half, every possession we scored at least a touchdown, if not 3. And then in the second half, we came out and started and did the same thing. So it was like, holy shit, this is like, what are we looking at here? This is what I'm used to watch. I'm used to watching other teams do this to us. And the truth of the matter is that this is the kind of offense that we need if we're going to have Gannon as our defensive coordinator. Because in the first half, the Jets didn't have a possession without a score either. Because our defense was allowing them to go up and down the field doing the usual, a couple yards here, bend, don't break, but they got a touchdown on almost every possession. So it's like, yeah, well, we're not breaking, but our balls are being busted, and we're sitting here just trying to hold on. So, enough of that crap. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm excited about this win and stuff, but that guy needs to go regardless. I mean, the Jets offense, for the most part, they slowed down a little bit in the second half, but they weren't having a problem moving the ball against us. And like I said, a lot of it comes down to scheming. That's really what it is. It's not that we don't have talent on the defensive side of the ball. It's that the way that we're set up, we're just bound to give up yards. And, I'll go back to this again. They always say on commentary, if it's run properly, this system can work. And it's like, well, yeah, if it's run properly. Well, apparently we can't run it properly because we just get creamed usually. So, nonetheless, we held them to 18 points. Good job. We scored 33. We scored 24, I think it was, in the first half, which is like, holy shit. Half the time we can't even get to 24 for the whole game, even including garbage time when we're losing. So it's like, wow, this was nice. And then in the second half, we slowed down a little bit. But honestly, the offense didn't really slow down. It's just that we couldn't convert on third down. So we got held to field goals instead of doing our usual stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, I liked what I saw because even when that was happening, we were taking the points. Instead of going for it and doing all this stupid stuff, we were actually just taking what was given to us. 3 field goals by Elliott in the second half, and with the way our defense was playing in the second half, it was enough to seal the deal. We didn't need to score touchdowns. We didn't need to go for it and push the game out of reach. It was out of reach. So, like I said, awesome. As far as what this means moving forward, I've been kind of going back and forth because, I think Jalen has some promise, but I think that Minshew is obviously the better passer, and just I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to see what we saw today and say, boy, imagine if that was our future of just like having a guy that can get the receivers the ball consistently and still do some of the stuff with his legs. He can scramble when he needs to. So it's hard not to do that. I know that the coaching staff, specifically Sirianni, announced that when Jalen comes back, he's the starter, and that's the plan moving forward. So this little thing that happened today is, unless Jalen is out again next week, it's not going to amount to anything, according to what he said in the press conference. However, with that being said, there's going to be some people that wonder if that's the right direction to go. And unfortunately for Jalen, I would hope that he does come back next week if he wants to try to win back his job. Because if he's out again next week, well, actually, no, it's bye week next week, so I guess I'll shut up now. But anyways, the next game that we have, if it's Minshew starting again and he puts up a similar performance, I don't think that Jalen can expect to get the job back if we keep seeing this. Because, anybody can have one good game, but if it starts becoming a habit, I don't know how you stick with it. I would really like to see, I know that I'm usually not a fan of this kind of stuff, but I wouldn't even mind seeing a little bit of dual action QBs going on. Put Minshew in there, or make Minshew the starter and use Jalen on specific sets or plays and stuff, because he definitely has value to the team. And honestly, we might be able to get the most out of both of their skill sets by doing some of that stuff. So I honestly would not be opposed to seeing some of that. I know it in years past it hasn't always worked very well, and like I said, I'm usually not a fan of that, but I would be willing to give it a try, because I think it would be pretty awesome to see if we could find a way to get the positives of both, because like Dad said, they're very two different players stylistically. So anyways, great win for the Eagles. It just really kind of sours me over the fact that we lost last week, because we lost last week, and right now, if we had won last week, we would be 7-6. We would be in a wild card position going into the bye week and have some winnable games left. And now, we're 6-7 going into the bye week, which is not bad, especially considering ESPN projected us at 3 wins for the season. So we're doing good, but I'm just saying, if we would have taken care of business against the Giants, we'd be on quite a roll right now. And instead, we're going into the bye week with more questions than answers in some respects.
You can't spell Philadelphia without quarterback controversy.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and a perfect time to have the week off, because
everybody can just talk about it and
exactly.
stoke the fires. It's going to be great.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It can just be... last thing, and then we'll move on to the next game, is that one thing that I noticed with Minshew in there is that our weapons are being targeted. Like, the people that need to have the ball, the people that we're paying, are getting the ball. When Hurts was in there, you'd see a game with Dallas Goedert only having 2 targets, and that's if he caught one, and we're paying him top-tier tight end money, and he's getting 2 targets. That's not acceptable. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason, whether I'm not saying that Dallas Goedert is as good or better than Travis Kelce, but for what we're paying him, he needs to be treated as if he's Travis Kelce, and if he can't make the plays at that point, then we get rid of him. But I'm just saying, this whole 3 targets and call it good, that's not going to fly with me. Not for how much we're paying him. So if we're going to pay these guys and treat them as if they're star players, then we shouldn't see Quez Watkins getting more targets than them. I'm sorry. That shouldn't be how it is. So it was nice to see not only Goddard get leads in targets, but also receptions and have over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns today. So like to see it, and I want to see more of that. I don't care who's in there. Jalen, hell, we can have Sudfeld back. I want to see some of the damn people that we're paying get targeted, because if you remember back to last season, that was one of my complaints, is the weapons we had not seeing the ball. I talked about that in almost every week. A misuse of talent. So we still get to see that on the defensive end thanks to Gannon, but on the offensive end, I'd like to see that cleaned up. And if we can keep doing what we did this week, we will. So great stuff. Good job, Eagles, taking care of business against the Jets. We've never lost to them in the history of our franchise, and it didn't start today. Thank you very much. And going into the bye week, we'll see what happens. But anyways, that's enough positivity for one show. Let's move ourselves into this Bengals action. For a team that came out looking like an absolute dumpster fire, they crawled their way back into the game somehow, which in a lot of respects I was shocked, because I was just thinking like, okay, this is going to be another one of those situations where they had an emotional win last week against the Steelers and then just a complete letdown this week like we've seen from them before, and they just were going to get taken out of it so early, so quickly, that they just were going to give up. But they came back, and then, unfortunately, they were making a move to actually kind of take the lead, or try to. They had a fumble, and the rest is history. Basically, after that fumble return for a touchdown, they look like the Bengals that started the game again. Just, turning the ball over, not really spirited effort out there, and just kind of the momentum completely changed. So that's unfortunate, and definitely I think that this was a game that was very winnable for the Bengals, and kind of unfortunate that they came out and played the way that they did. 20 unanswered is a little difficult, as we've talked about in past videos, and so yeah, I think definitely from a coaching staff perspective, they got to do a better job of keeping the guys ready and prepared for the game, because it was 24-0 before halftime, before the second quarter even, I think, right around the start of the second quarter, and it was already like 24-0, which is not a recipe for winning. Yeah. And especially against some of the better teams. I'm not saying the Chargers suck, but I'm just saying against the Bucks or the Rams or some of these teams that are probably going to be Super Bowl contenders, you're not coming back. So definitely got to clean that up. But yeah, tough loss for the Bengals. But nice uniforms.
Yeah. I have no idea about losing a fumble for a touchdown and really causes the game to turn. I have no idea what that's about. It only happened like a couple weeks ago, I think, against Philadelphia or something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. Some team we were playing, I guess, that happened. Yeah. Going in to go ahead and then cough it up for a touchdown. So there was no flashbacks or anything with that, so it was okay. This game, by all rights, Cincinnati should have been housed early. They were down 24-0, like you said, 1 point. Chargers were actually playing really good ball, and then Cincinnati, kudos to them, capitalized on I forgot what's his name, running back, seemed to be like throwing the ball around. Yeah, Eichler. Yeah, he seemed to be like, here you go. Yeah, and he got them back into it, and then like I said, got a kudos, and then Mixon returned the favor to Eichler and said, here you go, and then. The rest was history, where I don't know if that was the Mixon temper tantrum on the sidelines or wherever the hell happened, and then Burrow got his pinky damaged. So, again, kudos for him. Show a little moxie to stick it through that. I know my quarterbacks would have just folded and popped it in for the rest of the day. So kudos for Burrow for that. But tough loss for the Bengals. Against another dominant AFC West team.
Yeah.
Well, that about sums it up. No, definitely the whole momentum of the game shifted when Mixon lost that fumble and they went in and scored. Because at that point, the tides had turned in that game. Cincinnati had things going their way. They were moving the ball. Even on that drive, they were down to their 30-yard line. So they were moving in for another score of some kind, probably. And then all of a sudden, bloop, and all of a sudden you thought the Lions were playing. But to be honest with you, I was kind of shocked at the way, after that happened, how it was like the Bengals were just lifeless. There was they couldn't do anything, couldn't move the ball. Defense wasn't even playing very good. And it was like they took the wind out of the sails, man. And, especially at home, you figure the crowd should have been able to keep that.
Yeah, the crowd definitely, I think most of them left at the end of the first half.
Yeah,
honestly,
there was a lot of empty seats when they were showing it,
which
in the upper levels.
It's crazy considering they're probably paying a lot for those tickets to begin with.
Yep.
But, after that fumble, I agree. That was a huge turn in how the game played out. We actually did get into scoring range after that, but Burrow threw a pick trying to make a play to get us a TD to put us down by one possession. And kudos to him for sticking it out. And it sounds like, from what I've read, that he doesn't plan on missing any games due to it. So I'm really happy to hear that. Also, and also just kudos to the effort in the first half. After going down 24-0, getting back in the game and having a chance to, take the lead at one point. I gotta give credit. That just goes to show, this team doesn't give up for the most part. Today it felt like they did, but, the only other thing that was really bad was just the fact that we lost. A lot of guys went down with injuries today. Logan Wilson, who had been balling out for us all season, he was carted off with a shoulder injury today, and that sucked pretty bad. And Awuzie also, top corner for us, I would say. He went out with a foot injury, so that wasn't a good sign. All I can do is hope that they can be back for next week. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, the Niners is a must win for us. I'll just say that right now, because I only see it spiraling downwards if we can't get back on track soon. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely you can't afford to lose too many more. And honestly, of the opponents you got left, that's probably one of the more winnable ones.
Yeah, we still got to play the Chiefs, Ravens. Granted, Ravens are pretty beat up, but they're still a tough team to beat. And, that's never an easy win for us, even though it was earlier this season. But I don't expect them to perform like that again against us. And, we still got another game with the Browns, who completely wiped the floor with us a couple weeks ago. So, yeah.
And then the AFC Championship preview against the Broncos coming up also.
Yeah, we got the Broncos too.
The battle of the orange going on. Yeah, the pumpkins. But but these next two games, the one against the Niners and the Broncos,
those are big games for us, for sure. I think even they're big games for the Niners and the Broncos. Because the Niners and the Broncos are right around the same record that we have. So, these could definitely be standings,
season-defining games.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but definitely not a good loss. Not a good loss today.
Yeah. But, all right. Well, anyway, we just, hopped into the Broncos, so let's go ahead and get their game going now. And they were the Sunday night game against the Chiefs, and the record is now 12 in a row for the Chiefs.
Wow. Yeah. From the parts of this game that I watched, looked like typical Broncos offense. Even though, you know what I liked is that they were going to Williams a lot. And when when he had the ball in his hands, things were happening. I'll say that. I really like that kid. He's good. And yeah, I mean, offensively, that's about the only positive part from today. The offensive line wasn't doing it. And yeah, tough loss.
Yeah, I kind of like that Williams kid myself. I think he's the bright spot on that team right now. I think he's the key to victory, in my opinion. Get him going and feed him the ball as much as you can. He seems to make positive plays when he gets it. Doesn't have a whole lot of negatives, and usually if it is a negative play, it's not generally because of
him.
lack of effort on his part. There's not much you can do if you're getting gang tackled. But yeah, it was. He's definitely a bright spot. Bridgewater did not have a good game today. He put the ball in harm's way more so than usual, I think, even. He's always been known as the game manager and won't turn the ball over, but I guess he's trying to change that, right? That stigma that he has. Yeah. He's trying to change that stigma that he has of not turning the ball over, apparently.
He's a touchdown maker
for
the other team recently.
But, I mean, to me, it's the Broncos actually, defensively, it was another nice, solid game. A solid performance, like normal. I mean, there was like 14 points worth of shit there that really you couldn't put on the defense. And, I mean, really, they only gave up, I think, a total of 10 points or 9 points on the offense? Or to the offense?
I think they had 12, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you count the one that's close to what they gave up on the punt.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I mean, it was less than 17.
Yeah, I mean, it was virtually that wasn't in the defense's hands. The reason they lost this game, the defense played as solid as you could play it, and so if you're Fangio, it's kind of a repeating theme. I mean,
Fangio.
I mean, it's a repeating theme. Every week it's the same story.
There you go.
So, but I think they're planning on addressing that need in the offseason, so we'll see how it works out. Because it seems like Denver's got, some weapons and stuff. It's just not consistent enough to where they're able to get wins. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm sure that he's got plenty of things to, talk about on here. And, so I'll keep mine pretty short. But basically, typical Broncos performance. I mean, literally at halftime, we were counting the ways of how many things that we talk about on the weekly show that we had seen in the first half. Horrible challenge play. Lack of offense, slow start, 3 and outs, and good defense, as well as just, the usual. If you guys have watched the show before, then you know what we're talking about. And it really is just frustrating. And even though I'm not a huge Broncos fan, obviously, like he is, it's infuriating to watch. And, it's compiled by the fact that it didn't just start. It's been 5 years of this nonsense. And it doesn't seem to matter what quarterback you have or who has all the tools coming into the team. It's the same product on the field. The main thing, like Dad said, they did everything that they needed to do to be able to win this game under any other circumstance. If they had the Eagles offense today, they blew the Chiefs out. If they had the Lions offense today, they won this game handily. If they had the Bengals offense for a little bit there, they blew the Chiefs out. If they had really anything, this game probably wasn't close. Because the Chiefs really just capitalize on Bronco mistakes, which is basically a weekly theme on this channel. And the fact of the matter is that the part of it that's really frustrating, at least from my perspective, again, he'll fill you in some more in a little bit, but the part of it that's really frustrating on my performance, or on my end of it, is you look over at Fangio on the sidelines and stuff like that. He's doing all this stupid stuff. He's watching these players put a lack of effort out there in some respects, make the same mistakes all the time, and he just looks comfortable with it. Like, that's just, oh, okay, that's what it is. Yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah, I knew he wasn't going to do that. Oh, yeah, there's Fant getting trucked by a guy half his size. Yeah, okay. Hey, come on over. Get some water. Bring it in. No, you should be freaking pissed. You have way, way, way more talent than what is showing right now. I know I said in another video that I felt that way with most of the teams on this channel, the Lions probably being the exception, that the talent that we all have on these teams is better than what our records generally show. And I especially feel that way with the Broncos. You got a stellar defense. You got weapons all over the field on offense. You got somewhat of a suspect offensive line, but if people were healthy, that might not be the case. And even the offensive line has some players on it. So, and you've got a running back that is a workhorse if you feed him. So the fact of the matter is it's infuriating to see him just over there just kind of going through the motions and just, like I said, I mean, at times it looked like he just wasn't surprised by anything and just didn't really care. And I mean, like I said, if I'm a coach or something and I'm seeing this, I mean, and the fans are seeing it too, you should be pissed off. You should be in these people's faces. You shouldn't be just standing there like watching it go by like, oh yeah, this is just who we are. This doesn't have to be who you are. This isn't who you are. But as a result of things that you're doing, as a result of things that the offensive coordinator is doing, you are truly missing the opportunity of recognizing the potential of this team. And the potential of this team is being shown when you play against teams that you should beat. But every time you play against somebody that has a decent squad or a better coach, it gets exposed. Because you just get caught with your pants around your ankles a lot. And that's really frustrating. And like I said, I mean, it's really frustrating to just see him over there with basically no emotion, just kind of standing around like almost defeated. Like, oh, this is just what we are. And, if you're not going to care to try and fix anything, obviously you're not. We've been watching the same product for how long since you got here. If you're not going to try to fix anything, then you need to move your ass out of the way so that somebody can, because this is pathetic. I mean, like I said, it's been 5 years now, and like I know he's just itching at the bit, so I won't go any farther than that, but it's been 5 years of this, and nothing is changing, and he doesn't even look like he wants it to change at this point. He's just content with mediocrity at best, and that's not what it should be for Denver or for any of our teams. So, yeah.
Yeah, just another weekly performance from Vic Fangio and the band of idiots. Just unbelievable preparation. Again, like we told before, and I'm sitting here and I'm laughing at it, we're challenging plays that don't even need to be challenged. I mean, it looks to be challengeable if it's in slow motion. Well, every goddamn play is challengeable in slow motion. But when you look at it real time, it's obviously incomplete. So don't even challenge that. Teddy looks like he has no clue. Like you said, I'd rather have Minshew, who's out after the game slapping around, almost killing his dad outside the locker room. because he's fired up about actually caring about the team, while Teddy's over there looking like a beanie baby. I don't know what the hell he's got with the little stupid stocking cap on, going, "Oh, I can't wait to get back home and get some dinner. This is going to be fun." Not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Because it's piss poor. And people in Denver read through this, and I'm sure they'll be all over him for this week, when they'll put up another fucking lackluster performance against the Lions. But we'll see what happens with that. But this team is really just irritating, and again, it's the same BS we talk about every time, and it just repeats itself.
Yeah.
There's no heart. Thankfully for Williams, he's the only one that actually really wants to be out there, apparently. It looks like it.
Yeah.
And the defense, of course. But, again, the defense sometimes underperforms. We caught some lucky breaks with some tip balls and some picks for us, but at least they caught it.
Yeah.
We didn't drop it. We could have been a little bit worse. But, again, great game by the defense, again, to hold Mahomes, under a couple touchdowns, for the game. That should be a winning formula, because we made the Chiefs with Shermer's freaking awesome game plan, made the Chiefs defense look like it was all pro, and it shouldn't even be close to that. Bridgewater throwing things off his back foot. It's just really bad quarterback play, which continues for the last 5 years. So, that's when we need to get, Daniel Jones and Trubisky, behind the center, which will change everything, into fucking top 5 draft choices for us, the way we continue. And, again, it's the same story. If we continue on this path, we're going to lose Williams to, like, the Patriots or some bullcrap team, and then he'll ball out there like he is balling for us, but he'll actually have people that care about winning games, where our team doesn't.
Yep.
It's obvious, it shows, and guess what? That's lighting the fire from the coach. And the coach has no passion besides out there going, "Oh, what am I doing out here? It's pretty out here in Kansas City tonight, a little windy." And it's like, you're not even give me Ditka. At least Ditka would fucking shoot somebody's ass out, and he's in the fucking game. At least he's involved with it. He might not be the greatest X's and O's guy, but guess what? He's going to rip hardball by the fucking jersey and tell him who's boss. Because, again, that's exactly what Teddy looked like. Jim Harbaugh going, "Oh," and Dick is going, "Hey, son of a bitch, get in the fucking game, right? Wake up, play something, Yeah. And it's just infuriating to watch this. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing we've drafted. It's the same thing we put in that position. It's the Trevor Simeons. It's the Paxton Lynches. They're all softies. It's like, give me somebody that's got some fucking moxie, that actually wants to play the quarterback position. We haven't had that.
Yeah.
And it's just infuriating when you do have that, because we've had, again, the same line of characters that even Kubiak had that moxie about him. Even when John failed, guess what? Kubiak came in, and he gets, "Hey, let's go. Let's, get going and win some games with him." So it's just, I don't know. It's just really just frustrating, because it's the same old shit on the wheel of turd. And I just don't know what the hell to do with it. And I'm sorry, Tune In Sports. It's a broken record, but that's where we're at. We're breaking records, all for losing. So.
Yep. No, that's exactly it. And the truth is that we talk about the same things on this show all the time, and it's not just with Denver. It's basically with all our teams commonly. And again, if you've never watched this channel before, then get ready to have your socks blown off. And if you have, you're getting ready to say, "Oh boy, here we go again with that one." But we're watching these games. Sometimes we're watching freaking Red Zone, and we're just seeing what's going on, and it just seems like the coaches are making no adjustments whatsoever. Again, with the Broncos this week, it's like the map is laid out on what you need to do against the Chiefs. So for them to come out and still look like they had no idea what to even do against the Chiefs.
2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, for them to come out and look like they were just blindsided by the Chiefs' defense is ridiculous. That's a joke. Hell, even the Eagles, when they were playing their usual offense, put up 31 points against the Chiefs. We lost by 20, but we put up 31 points against the Chiefs. We didn't look like we had no clue out there. We were moving the ball down the field. So if we can do that, then there's no excuse.
Well, the telling stat that they showed right after halftime was he's 1-20 if he's behind in the second half.
Yeah.
So that tells you right away that he has no clue. The offensive coordinator has no clue. There's no imagination. There's no concepts. There's no originality to actually make these players, do some stuff to get open, X, Y, Z. It's just the same old vanilla, X's and O's, nothing. I mean, there's not even trick plays.
No.
There's not. I mean, it's just, hey, Teddy's going to go back 3 steps, and then maybe he might go to left, right, sometimes a little up, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Especially when you figure how good the defense is. It's not like they're coming into the second half being out of the game.
No.
They're right in the middle of it.
No, and then not, put points on the board when you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an 11-minute drive and you come away with 0. That's embarrassing.
Amen to that.
Yep. Yep. But, nothing we haven't seen before and nothing we won't see next week against the Lions probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they just have no desire to really make anything change. And like he said, I mean, that's exactly what I notice. I mean, I don't generally watch the whole Broncos games. I usually watch Red Zone, so I didn't really notice it. But watching the whole game tonight, the lack of passion is exactly what I saw as well. Just a bunch of guys just going through the motions out there. And the sad thing is, it's not like they're out of it. If they would have won tonight, they'd be first place in the division, going into a very winnable game against the Lions. So, they control their own destiny, and they just basically look like a team that was ready to throw in the towel. And, from basically the opening kickoff, they from the time that we want to receive and went 3 and out, it was just like, okay, here we go again. So, very, very, very disappointing. And, hell, if you can't get any fire from what you're doing down there, then you should be fired. Yeah. And then that'll solve your problem.
You're going against a team you lost 11 games to them. There should be some motivation behind that. Like,
we got
to break this schneid. We got to do something that's, that's got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And it just leads you to believe it's going to be, 0-13.
Yeah.
When it comes to week 17.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, the only fire you see is, guys on the defense getting pissed off with the situation, trying to make things happen, but the offense goes 3 and out again, and they're back out there.
Back out there.
That's the only time you see some fire. And then at the end of the game, when they're making stupid mistakes and, just hitting people late and stuff because they're so pissed off about how things went again. So, but, another glorious week in the NFL. Just from top to bottom, lots of excitement. And if you liked what you saw this week, stay tuned. We got a head-to-head matchup on the channel, Lions versus Broncos next week, as well as the 49ers and the Bengals, both in the afternoon window. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Primetime TV.
And,
I'll have to work during it.
Yeah. But, and then on the bright side for me is that I don't live in Philadelphia, so I don't have to spend every waking moment hearing about the quarterback controversy. I just get to read about it on social media. So, if I can avoid some of that, then that'll make my week go a lot smoother. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But, we'll go ahead and end this kibosh right here. Thank you guys for watching the show. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned in for more stuff coming up, as well as our annual Christmas bloopers. Got that to look forward to, even though the product on the field is pretty much a blooper, so we don't need to make a reel. Just
doing the same thing.
I was gonna say, I just watched the Eagles and the Giants last week. There's plenty of that, and the Broncos tonight and the Bengals today. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Bryson,
Bennett,
Steve,
I'm done.
see you guys in the next video.
Go Vic.